Hi everyone, today we're crocheting this easy twisted earwarmer headband, which works up very quickly and is the perfect beginner project. For the materials, you can use any worsted weight yarn. This is an acrylic wool blend and I used about 40 grams in the color cream. I also used a 5mm crochet hook, a pair of scissors, and a yarn needle. To begin, we'll create a slip knot. Take the tail end of the yarn and cross it over the longer strand. Then we're going to insert the long strand of yarn into this hole and pull up to tighten the knot. Insert your crochet hook into the hole. Then we will chain 18. To chain, yarn over and pull through the loop on the hook. Yarn over, pull through the loop on the hook. Continue to chain until you reach 18 chains. And the length of the chain you make will determine how wide or thick the earwarmer will be. So if you want it to be thicker, then you can add more chains and vice versa. Here I've done 18 chains, and this measures to be about 10 centimeters wide or 4 inches. And once again, this will represent the vertical length of the earwarmer. Pick up the chains that you made, and we're going to work row 1. We're going to work a half double crochet in the second chain from the hook. So yarn over, insert your crochet hook into that second chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, and you should have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. We'll repeat the same stitch in the next chain. Yarn over, insert your crochet hook into that next chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on the hook. Half double crochet in each chain until the end of the row. I have 1 chain remaining, so I'll work a half double crochet in that last chain, and at the end of the row you should have 17 stitches. And this is because we skipped the first chain. To start the next row and every row, we'll chain 1, turn our work, and we're going to be working a half double crochet under these V's at the top. So to half double crochet, yarn over, insert your crochet hook underneath that V, picking up both loops, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on the hook. And in the next stitch, we're going to work in the back loop only. So here's my back loop. I'm inserting the yarn needle as a reference. Yarn over, insert your crochet hook into the back loop, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on the hook. Half double crochet in the back loops only until you reach the last stitch of the row. When you reach the final stitch of the row, we're going to work a half double crochet under both loops. So I'm picking up 2 loops instead of 1. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. So this will be the pattern for the remainder of the project, and we'll repeat these rows until the earwarmer reaches a length that can wrap around our head. To demonstrate again, we'll chain 1, turn our work, and at the beginning of every row we're going to work a half double crochet in the first stitch, and then work a half double crochet in the back loops only. So the first and last stitch will be regular half double crochets underneath both loops, and everything in between will be back loop only. So in my last stitch, I'm going to work a half double crochet going under both of those loops. And it's important to count the number of stitches at the end of every row to ensure that you have the correct number. So I should have 17 stitches at the end of every row. I repeated this pattern until I reached 68 rows, and this measures about 18.5 inches unstretched. So you want to account for a little extra room because the headband will stretch. So I'd recommend stopping a little under the actual circumference of your head. So for reference, this is 47 centimeters, and with a little stretching, it will fit my head, which is about 49 to 52 centimeters around. When you reach your desired length, we can fasten off. With your crochet hook, chain 1, and leave about 20 centimeters of yarn for sewing. I did this much, and I'm going to snip off the yarn right here. Pull through with your hook and tighten the knot. For the final part, we're going to form the twist of the headband, and you can thread your loose end into the needle to get it ready. Grab the ends on either side of the rectangle and pull them together like this. Then we'll lower the left end halfway down the right end, so the top of the left end touches the middle of the right. And if your shorter tail is in the way, you can tuck it underneath the project. Take the top right end and fold it in half over the left end, like this. Then fold the left end in half over the right end. And now the ends should be interlocked. And also make sure that it's flat on top so none of the layers are sticking out. And with your yarn needle, I'm sewing right to left, and you can turn your work this way so it's easier. Insert the yarn needle through all 4 layers on the edge of the right side. So I'm going underneath and picking up 2 V's on each layer. And from the other side, I'll pull the yarn through. We'll repeat that again, going the opposite direction. So now I'll insert my yarn needle slightly to the left here. Go under all 4 sections of the layers and pull the yarn through. And same thing back on this end. I'm moving slightly towards the left in the next stitch and going through all 4 layers at the top. So we're kind of working in a zigzag motion, and we'll repeat this sewing technique until the very end. When you reach the end, be sure to go through the very edge of that top layer so the whole twist is nice and secure. And I repeated this in the opposite direction as well to make sure that the edge was very tight. Before fastening off, you can turn it around to make sure that the twist looks good and the way you want it to. Here's how mine looks, and I'm satisfied with it. So now what I'll do is turn it back around. Take your scissors and snip off the long tail of yarn, leaving a little bit of length behind for weaving the loose end. I'm cutting right here. If you still have the loose end from the beginning, we can use it to double knot the loose ends together to secure it in place. To weave in all the loose ends, take one of the strands and thread it into your yarn needle. And we'll work up to a row of stitches and go underneath a few loops, pull the yarn through, and go under the stitches in that row. So I'm working towards the left and picking up a few loops, to hide the loose end and pull the yarn through. And you don't have to go crazy with this. If you prefer to just cut off the loose ends instead of weaving them in and hiding them, then you can do that as well. So now I'm working my way in the opposite direction, and after going through that last single loop, I'll cut off the yarn and do the same thing with the other loose end. Once you're done, turn it inside out, and here's what it looks like. I really love the way this came out, and it keeps my ears super warm for the winter, and is my favorite thing to wear when going on runs. I hope you learned something new in this tutorial, and if you did, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.